Hey, this is Jared here from the Huntin' Fool, and in today's Advisor Insights video, I'm going to cover a cool new product that I found while surfing Instagram. This is called the Aziak Bino Clamp, and these little guys weigh 3/10 of an ounce. It's the lightest bino clamp that I'm aware of, and it's actually Arca-Swiss compatible. The base of these things slide right into an Arca-Swiss plate, which many tripod heads have anymore. In the event that you don't have that, it also happens to include a little hex head that has a nice recess that accepts a 1/4-20 standard tripod plate. So this will also work with any standard tripod plate out there as well. In the event that you're running an Arca-Swiss, like I am on this particular tripod here, the bino clamp actually just slides straight in. So after you install the Aziak on your optic, it's permanently attached, drops in and out of the bino harness easily, unlike a lot of other bino clamps that have more bulky attachments. And then, like I said, it just slides straight into the Arca-Swiss plate and locks down like any other standard tripod adapter would. Now this bino clamp actually comes in 4 different sizes. I have the smallest and the largest here represented with me today, but it comes in 4 different sizes. There's an optics chart that you can find on their website to make sure that it's compatible with the optic you want to put it on. In my case, I was actually able to use the largest one to even work on my spotter from Kowa that I love. I absolutely love this little spotter, and the largest bino clamp actually attaches right to it. Additionally, in addition to the 4 sizes, there are 3 separate screws that come with each of the Aziak clamps, and that enables you to make sure that you can adjust a little bit more custom for the individual optics that you have. So A, you're going to want to select the specific size based on their compatibility chart, and then B, you're going to want to choose the fastener that fits the best for your particular bino, or your spotter in this case. This awesome little bino clamp from Aziak is actually 3D printed. They're made right here in the USA, and they retail for $37 each. With that said, I'm going to dive in and share some of my thoughts on the part. All right, when I first got my hands on this thing, my first thought was that thing looks really fragile. So I've actually been able to hunt with this thing from Kodiak, Alaska, all the way down to Arizona in all kinds of conditions. And honestly, it worked flawlessly right up until I got carried away trying to wrestle an 8-year-old kid, because that's the only people I can beat these days. And I tipped over my tripod at full height with this big heavy Leica Geovid optic on it. And when it hit the hard ground, it did break the clamp. So the answer is yes and no. It was perfectly sufficient in all kinds of really rough, rugged conditions, high winds of Kodiak, you name it. But like I said, with user abuse, you can make one of these fail on you. With that said, I'd like to go over some of the pros. First and foremost is the price, right? Most of these bino clamps retail quite high. This one is $37. It's really hard to argue that it's not worth a chance to try on your own optic. Also, it goes in and out of my bino case really easily. That's something that's super important. I don't like something to hang up when I'm sliding my binos in and out of the bino case. So I really liked that. There's also no additional parts to lose. Most bino systems have at least 2 components, and it's pretty easy to lose one when you're out in the field. And then it's also easy for me, in my case, again, I was using a small spotter, to switch between my spotter and my bino when I was using the Arca-Swiss plate, because then I didn't have a stud sticking up here that I was clipping my binos on and off and had to remove to run the spotter. So I was able to easily slide the spotter into place, lock it down, and go to glassing with it, and then swap it back out in just a couple seconds with the binocular. And then finally, again, I'm running a Leica Geovid bino here, and this thing does not have a stud on it. A lot of binos do, but a few don't. And if you don't have a mounting stud on it, there's no place to run a lot of the bino clamps that are out there. This one doesn't require it, so that was a final pro that I really appreciated for this optic in particular. All right, now there are a couple of cons with this particular adapter that I want to cover. One is, like, if you're in a seated glassing position and you're running your optic like in wide range, as you rotate over here, you kind of want to pivot your glasses if you have the opportunity to do so. This does not allow easy rotation inside of the bino clamp. Once you install it, you crank it down with an Allen head and it's pretty much set it and forget it. So there's not easy rotation in that. Now, having said that, a lot of the bino clamps on the market don't rotate anyway. And for me in particular, I have a very narrow eye set. And so typically speaking, my binos are clamped all the way around the vertical post anyway. So it's kind of a neutral for me. It's actually completely neutral. And then the last con is that it obviously isn't universal, right? It's optic specific in that, you know, if you have a small binocular tube in one case, or like if you're running a pair of 15s in another, you are gonna need to purchase one that fits the right size for your binocular. That said, two very small cons for the price, small barrier to entry, and I absolutely love the product and will definitely be running it on all my future hunts. Thanks for taking the time to watch today's video. If you like our content, please subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Give us a thumbs up, all of that stuff helps. And if you got any questions, leave a comment in the comment section. And finally, this product is available online at the link below. We'd appreciate the support at our store as well.